Gordon, send more house to save the house. Come on, the house!
Welcome to the Housecast, everybody. A special edition tonight. Looking forward to having a chat with two absolute legends of the club. And Gav's on as well. So, Gav, let's have a little catch up. How are you when cricket season finishes?
Yeah, all good, thank you, Jess. Spend my time, unfortunately, with Matthew. But no, yeah, just going watching Super Clarets.
Yeah. Do you manage it? I mean, it's different, because we don't play anymore. But I used to get quite depressed through the end of September and October, and then because of no cricket and not being down the club. But how did you? Were you?
I wouldn't say that. Still get to watch Super Clarets and still get out and about and what have you, and still get out to Sunday socials when I can. So I still see everybody from the cricket club. But summer's obviously the best time of the year. I think we'd all agree with that. Yeah. But no, I don't mind a couple of pants after turf under Culvert with Stanley and Paul and Aggers and Dave Bridle. No, it's a good crack.
Yeah, it is. It's and it keeps you active, doesn't it, and gets you out having that socials. Well, good end to the season, I thought, Gav. Obviously we won it 2 games to go, I think it was, and then continue with that form. I mean, I'm thinking of another podcast around the quality of the side and of comparing it with sides gone by. I know it's difficult to do that, but can you think of a better side in the Lancashire League?
No, absolutely not. And
20 years.
What can't speak can't lie. And you look at the league table, and you look at the margin of victory. We've not scraped by a couple of bonus points or the odd win. We've absolutely steamrolled the league. And I'm not a big stats person, but I can't remember one team absolutely dominating. It's borderline ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ben and the team, should be ever so proud, and I know that they are. But no, they absolutely dominated it. From pretty much halfway through the season, and they just marmalised everybody really to a degree.
Yeah, and it was, it was great cricket to watch. I suppose we've already started doing this podcast that we're going to plan to do at a different time, but so we'll not go on much more. But I really enjoyed it, how good the cricket was to watch. You look back at Haslingden teams in the 90s and East Lancs before that.
The Bay Cup teams, the 90s, they were a great side, weren't they? Yeah. But you look at the Lowerhouse team. There's so many. It doesn't matter whether we're batting or bowling. If we're batting, there's 11 lads who can have a day out. When we're bowling, the conditions don't really matter. We've got every base covered.
Yeah, it is. It's been a fantastic season. But let's move on, Gav. We've got, like I said, a special edition this evening. It's once again, and I don't make any apologies for this, that we're trying to promote some charities and fundraising, which are all relatively local, but are being carried out by good local people from the cricket club. So we've got Matthew and Adele Stansfield on. We're going to talk through, a bit of fun about the cricket, and then we're going to go on to a particular charity that's very close to Matthew and Adele, and just push it and promote it and talk about it. So first of all, Matt Stanley, welcome on. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. Good evening, Jez. Good evening, Gavin.
Well,
you'll be over the moon after that season, I bet, Stanley. You've put so much work in, and you and the other members of the board and the committees that are ran there. You've no complaints over that season, I guess. Other than Douglas Lewis.
Yeah, no, fantastic. It makes it all worthwhile. The first team, what they did, the second team, some of the cricket from the third and fourth teams as well, especially that young fourth team of the Pinkies was exceptional. And then I think if you look further down than that, lots of the kids teams have been very successful, and there's some exciting prospects coming through. And just to pick up, you were talking then, and obviously you're going to do this on another night, but you said about the way that the team dominated. The other thing, I thought that the team we had in 2014 with Corbus and Matt Walker and all those in was exceptional. But I'd say that from a collective point of view and a league point of view, there was a few more gimmies that year in the league. Weak teams, poor teams. With this two division setup now, there are no gimmies in every game. You've got to be on it, or you come up short.
It is. It's strong. It's you might look at it's a good point that with Corbus. What an outstanding cricketer he was. And that's not the detriment of any of the pros in the league at the moment. But there were some decent pros around that time. But the amateurs, I don't think, were as strong then in all the league as they are in the league at the moment. It'd be good to dissect it somehow. I think we can do that over the winter. But I think, Stanley, I just want to move on to your missus, because Adele, I've known her for donkey's years. Obviously, coming down the club with you, the start of the Rugrats with you, Matthew, and Gav, and Mus, and Charlie, and Dooch, and Matt Marquis, and the other lads that came through the junior section. And Adele's been there really from that period. Always good fun, always a real strong character, very loving, and, we'll chat and talk and even now walk round the ground and have good catch up with anyone of any age. So Adele, I really appreciate you coming on. Thanks very much. How are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, all good, thanks. Yeah, doing a few bits and bats with the grandkids and what have you. But no, it's all fantastic. You were down even more this year, I think, Adele, as you were down at almost every game and wandering down.
I usually am, aren't I? I mean, the last couple of years, I've been doing my master's degree, so I've had to spend a bit more time, obviously studying. But I finished that last year, so I've had more time to be at the club this year. Yeah,
and it is great. And this is going to sound really old, but I remember my dad saying it and other people of the past. The cricket club's almost like you can see the movement of time. You look at my kids, you look at your two girls, and you look how people are getting older. It is a great, and it's not just Lowerhouse, obviously, it's everywhere. So it's so good that you and that Stella Corner seems to be growing with all you wags. I don't know what's going on down there. You're pushing us out.
Well, we do try his best, but now it's more Prosecco corner than Stella.
Yeah, I bet there's some bottles that have gone through down there.
Just a few on a Saturday afternoon.
I know, I bet. So I think, it is clearly a serious topic we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about it as best we can, as to the different stages throughout your lives you've gone through and how you came across and managed through those periods and where you are now with fundraising. So we've obviously had a little bit of liaison before we got here, and I didn't realise. So you met Matthew in '97. I can see from my research. Just tell us about that. What happened there?
Well, we're both at college, and we both had an evening job at George Foster's up on Farrington Road, just off Osendale Road. And packing place, and that's where we met.
Oh, fantastic!
So I clocked out on him in March, and then went out with him in July.
Yeah, fantastic. And you've always been, coming down the club, the pair of you, a great couple. And at that time, I think it's fair to say, Gav, you and the likes of Charlie and Matt Marquis, and I think there's another 5 or 6 of your Rugrats, had a really good camaraderie between you all, even at that young age, Gav. I mean, you cast yourself back to '97. You're getting out there boozing. You had a great life then and good times. Not that you don't know, but
yeah, absolutely, yeah. We all knocked around together, and we all played cricket. And every weekend we were, up to no good playing silly buggers. But I remember when Stanley said he had a girlfriend, I thought he was going to be his carer, something like that.
I think I might be now.
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
In that way.
But we're all expecting him to have a carer or something like that. But no, all joking aside, it just, we just used to have a right laugh, didn't we? The summer of love and all that. When it was just a great crack, and everyone were involved, and cricket almost got it way, really.
Yeah, and I suppose that's where the central part of it was. You were all, Burnley football fans, but as well as that, you were playing cricket and practicing and training and everything. So to get down at the weekends in the summer, it was good sports. Your memories, Matt, going back to 97 when you first met, and then moving on to getting engaged and getting your first house in 2002?
Yeah, Adele always tell you that I remember key dates in life around sporting occasions predominantly. I'll say, she'll mention something, I'll say, oh yeah, Burnley won 2-0 at Carlisle day after that.
Yeah.
And she finds it a bit bizarre that I remember things based on that. But yeah, that summer, obviously it was the Coriolan year from a cricket club point of view as well. But it wasn't just us. There was Charlie and Louise got together that summer, and we literally spent a full summer living in each other's pockets. If one's set of parents were on holiday, the others were at home, that kind of thing. So we literally surface surfed and slept in each other's houses for a full summer. And made the most of it. Manor Barn on a Wednesday, Panama's on a Thursday, Panama's on a Friday. VIPs was all you can drink for £7 or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was great times.
It isn't, like we know, I'm quite a bit older than you guys, but it was so much fun watching you and seeing you all develop as people and in the cricket world as well. So things move on. As I said, you get your house, you get engaged in 2002, and then you get married in Cyprus. With some friends and family there in 2005. So it's just over 20 years ago. So congratulations, 20-year anniversary.
Just on the sporting occasions, Jez.
Here he is again.
We got engaged the day after David Beckham's penalty winner against Argentina.
Right, good lad.
So I think I was still buoyed by that in the 2002 World Cup. So yeah. And then the night before we got married, it was the Liverpool AC Milan great comeback in Istanbul. The one where they were 3-0 down.
Yeah.
And drew 3-3, and then did they win on penalties in the end?
Yeah.
That was the night before we got married. But yeah, she's wrong. I don't remember things by great sporting occasions at all.
No, I think, well, what's wrong with that? It's being able to remember stuff like that and link it together. It's good on you. It's good on you, that. So your first house you bought in 2002, was that the one on Rosal Road? Or did you have one before that? Yeah.
No, that was the first one.
Yeah, so that was obviously opposite my brother's, Nicky's house. So it was almost, we got to, to bump into each other away from cricket as well, whether it were a barbecue at Nicky's or meeting up with you or going to the pub. So then, it's constantly as all being together as a community club, as a cricket club, and all your friends and everything. And then you married in 2005.
Yeah, Nicky's barbecues.
Yeah,
throwing sausages into the old folks' home and stuff like that.
Yeah, slipping on the decking. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah,
burning the rice.
Absolute chaos.
They all seemed to be, didn't they? Go on, Gav.
Them gin and tonics was. I think I can still taste that last gin and tonic I had. They were bloody strong, weren't they? I'll make you one. Yeah, cheers, Nick.
I think I was chasing Corey around with your pretend sword. Because I'll remember that bit.
Nicky was in charge of cooking, and rather than test it, he'd sort of bite into it. No, it's not cooked, and then whiz it over the wall into the old folks' home, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and wonder why he was sick the following day. It is funny you say that, Adele, because we had a lot of the memories of you younger ones, even whether you were 16 or 26, I don't know, all seemed to be around barbecues. We had that
Oh, don't say.
No, well, we'll see if I can say one of them. But we had that massive barbecue down at the club. Ryan was there, Ryan Harrison. We had that. We got the. It wasn't the fire brigade. It was someone who pretended they was from fire brigade and filled up the outdoor swimming pool.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and Nicky completely tore his hamstring sliding down that slippery slope that Adele constantly was sliding down with fairy liquid on, and then there was the other one at Matt's, weren't there?
I think it were mint sauce. It were Adam's from Adam's kit bag.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then the other one where the sausage kept appearing from different places. So it was, that was at Matt's. But no, really good memories, and it's good. I think it's quite. Other clubs will have this. I understand that, but I think it's lovely to see. And that there's still all those people still going down 30 years later of your era, and long may it continue. So
back then, Jez, we were the club, weren't we? It's a lot different now.
Yeah.
But that sort of group of friends and everything literally were the club in one way or another, because it was the time when we were working the bar, we were doing all those kind of things. Any social event was literally us, wasn't it? So it's a completely different animal these days, but back then.
Basically players, weren't it?
Yeah.
Basically players and their families, and their wives and kids. That's all, that's fundamentally what it were, weren't it?
Yeah. I'm just trying to throw myself back to it. And why did you lot, as a really young group, have to help out to keep the club going? But I suppose that was the Lofty's era, which were a really good side and socially a good set of people, but they really moved on, didn't they, I suppose? And when you look at that bigger, the people who would now be in the 70s, there was a big gap. There was me, Blaise, and then not many others in that decade after it. And then you lot came probably a decade and a half after. And I suppose it were almost like sending kids up chimneys. You've got, this club's going to go bust unless you work behind the bar, or unless you help out.
Tea room and the bar.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the tea room.
You've invited tea room.
Yeah, it is. It's fascinating when you can look back on it and where we are now and where it was for 20 years before that. Really on its backside. So things developed. Cricket was good. We were moving on, progressing. Reynolds was doing a sterling job getting the pros that we got. The amateurs, were probably a couple of players short to really compete in the top half. But the cricket looks after itself. So then we move on to, the reason why we want to do this podcast. In February 2007, Adele, you found you'd fallen pregnant, and you were, it's 2 years after you've got married. Everything's really looking rosy. Are you happy just to talk through that short period, or do you want me to talk you through it?
Yeah, I'm happy to go through it. Yeah, so we were felt pregnant in February 2007.
Yeah,
and it seemed to be a very steady pregnancy.
Yeah,
baby were going really well, and obviously we're being type 1 diabetic. There were a chance of having a big baby, but they're quite good at monitoring us, weren't they? Really.
There all the time, weren't we?
We were there quite often, lots of scans and lots of checkups, and then there was a period where I kind of started in labour, but it was quite a bit too early, so they stopped the contractions. So that was like the 10th of September, wasn't it? Remember it being Paul's birthday. So everything were okay. Went back home. Then a few weeks later, I went for another checkup, and that's unfortunately where they couldn't find his heartbeat.
Right.
So obviously that were a really tricky time. They sent us up to hospital just to obviously go and have a further test.
Yeah.
So me and Mum went up to the hospital. I drove up to the hospital then. Stanley was working in Manchester at the time, so he had to get his way to the hospital.
Charlie came and got me.
Yeah, Charlie was involved there as well. Obviously, we told our close friends.
Yeah.
And that's where it was confirmed that he'd unfortunately he'd died. So it was a very traumatic experience.
Yeah.
We didn't really know how to feel. You still don't know how to feel now, really. It's a bit numb, and It's just a process that you've got to kind of deal with.
Yeah.
But there's no right way or no wrong way of dealing with it. And then the hospital said, "Oh, you can go home and come back in a couple of days." And I don't want to go home. I want to have this baby, and then we'll find out, because we didn't know if it was a boy or girl. We didn't know the sex or anything. We didn't really have a proper name.
Yeah.
So anyway, after 2 days of labour, Harry was born. He was a big bruiser. He was £9.10, and he was 56 centimetres long. So he was a big baby. And this is when we got the Sands room, which is what my sponsor, what I'm doing. I have actually got the t-shirt on. I have been for a run today.
Go on. Like your Sam's t-shirt.
I'm nearly there. So the hospital then provided this family room, which was funded through Sands. And this is where we could just spend a bit of time together, a bit of time with Harry, just to kind of process everything, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was like a little self-contained flat in the hospital.
Okay.
With everything that you'd need to sort of live your life normally, kitchen, everything, all the sort of facilities you need day to day. It allowed family to come in and visit us and spend time with us, all that kind of thing. We stayed there for a good few days until then they come and take the baby away for post-mortem and things like that.
Yeah.
And then we did get a chaplain. A chaplain came in and blessed him as well.
Yeah.
Not necessarily we are really religious, but we always have. I've been quite religious all my life. Stanley's not really, but we just felt it was the right thing to do for Harry, really. So we got him blessed, and then that's when they took him to Manchester Hospital to find out what had happened.
Oh, crikey, Adele. It's. I mean, that's really brave. It's so good that you're putting this out there, and we'll talk about the charity in a minute. But this conversation could help one person. It could help 100 people, and I think that's the real reason for us doing things like this. So Harry's 37 weeks. You've had that pregnancy. He's obviously it's a horrendous time for you. How old would you two have been then? Sorry, I should know this. But
27.
Yeah, okay. So you're both in your mid-20s. Your family are all around you, but I know Gav will be the same. And I'll come to you in a minute, Gav, just to see what your memories are and what your thoughts are on this, because I think it's important we talk about it. But I can't even start to begin to think what you must have been feeling and what your mum and dad was and what Maureen was feeling, and you're grieving for this, for this little baby. You've never seen anything like this before or felt anything like it, and I'm guessing your family don't know what to do with you, and you don't know what to do with your family. Can you remember this, Gav, when it was happening? Obviously you can remember it, and I could, but I didn't realise the detail that Adele's just gone into. What's your thoughts and comments around that?
Yeah, everyone was so excited, for Matthew and Adele, and just so pleased, because, I know I'm biased, but we're all biased, but, they make great mates, but, they're great people, and, they're great parents, Ruby and Isabel, but they were just so excited and so looking forward to it, we knew that they'd be great parents. So then to see your close friends sort of go through that, and after that, it was, you don't think about yourself, you're thinking of Matthew and Adele, but it was heartbreaking for them, but the way that Matthew and Adele sort of conducted themselves, really, and with both come from great families. That's important to say.
Yeah.
Very supportive families, and they have a very close network of friends. But the way that they sort of got through that, you've got to have nothing but the utmost respect for them both. It's just such an incredibly difficult time.
Yeah, and we could. I don't mind talking about things like this now. I used to really struggle with it, but the way you've been, Adele, it gives you strength, and and I know Matthew is there for you, and then everyone's there for you both, and it is like I said, I can't even begin to think. I've never had anything anywhere near tragic, as tragic as that. And at the time, you mentioned about a self-contained flat or apartment or unit, and that it was through the charity Sands, was it, which was at the hospital?
Yeah, you wouldn't even know it was there, Jez. It was literally at the bottom of one of the stairwells in the near the maternity. Yeah, near the sort of old Edith Watson.
Yeah.
And we got told about it and said, look, you can go and stay in there. And we said, yeah, that's fine. Because look, in things like maternity units, life goes on, doesn't it? In a way, they've got to move on. They've got people coming in.
Yeah.
So we did that, and I think probably the worst or the hardest thing to do, I suppose, after something like that's happened. If you think about when you're having a child and people who obviously you've had kids, Jez, and what have you. Everything at home's ready for that when that child arrives, isn't it? So when you go there and then you're going home without it, it's heartbreaking. So to sort of be given that opportunity to spend that time there with family and everything before you have to do that, it was huge for us, massive.
I bet. You mentioned another point there, and I suppose that gives a little bit of time for your family to be around you and for them to get their head around it, and then how you're going to deal with the. I always look at short and medium and long-term plans. So the short-term plans, yeah, you're right, Stanley. To get your house into some sort of order for when you both have to go back.
Just kind of one day at a time, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah.
I didn't want anything to happen to his nursery.
Yeah.
We just leave everything as it is, and I'll deal with that when we are ready. We didn't want. No, some families decide it's the best thing to take everything away.
Yeah.
But I didn't want that.
No.
And that was how we wanted to deal with it at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no right or wrong. It's how you want to process
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah, it's an individual choice and how you feel about it. But to be making those choices, and again, Adele, you've been very brave there, saying one day at a time. I bet you were struggling or at the time to deal with 10 minutes at a time. What is going to happen in the next, short period of that. So it's sounding like just because of that room and the charity is there. And again, Adele, you've helped me out here, big Sal. So Sands, it was founded in 1978 by a small group of bereaved parents that wanted to bring something together. You've clearly got a real soft spot for them. It's 18 years ago. You're still raising money for that charity. Have you kept in touch with the charity since then and kept your eye out for fundraising occasions?
I do follow them on like Facebook and social media and Instagram and things, and they're always doing fundraisers. It is Baby Awareness Week next, probably I think it's from the 9th of October till the week after, and it's always the week after Harry's birthday. But last October or the October before, I did a walk. So I did another charity thing where I did 100k, just walking that time, not running, with Louis. So Louis was fully involved in that as well.
There was the dog, by the way.
Louis the dog, if those people don't know.
That's right, Louis the dog,
yeah. But I mean, it's just a great charity that support families who go through this, tragic event.
Yeah.
But there's a link between the Sands at the hospital and Christchurch in Nelson. It's a local church that you can go to for baby remembrance every year.
Yeah.
And that's where you do see the same families every year. And every now and again, sadly, you do get new parents.
Yeah.
But it's just a time to come together and just, have a bit of reflection.
Yeah.
And know that you've got the support of somebody else and they know exactly what you've been through.
Yeah. And again, as we've said earlier, the reason for doing this is just to try and help one person or 1,000 people. Adele, a way of sponsoring you or contributing to the charity, and we will do this again at the end. Can you give us? Is there a link? Is there anything that you could share with people? Give them something on here, or is it better off if we do that on the Lowerhouse website and the Housecast?
I don't know. I think I put a QR code on there. It's a little bit further down.
Okay.
I don't know if you can share that.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah,
that links to my page.
Yeah.
And I think I'm about £420 so far.
Oh,
and I've got one more run to do.
So tell us what you've been doing. What gave you the idea to do this? All these kilometres.
Well, I don't know if you know. Well, I know you know about it, Jez, and Gav obviously does. In March, I ended up being in hospital with meningitis.
Yeah.
I'm in hospital for 22 days, and it really knocked me for 6. I weren't in a good place, really, was I? It popped up in August time on Facebook, Run 50k in September, and I thought I need to get myself fit again, and it's a great charity, which is obviously close to my heart. So a bit of a challenge for myself as well, to kick myself to get fit again and raise really important money for other families.
Yeah. And that is 50k over the month of September. So tell us how that went at the start. Difficult? Were you getting the old blisters, or how have you managed it?
The first one, I think my first one probably the best one what I did.
Right.
I think I was just like, right, just go for it, and I just ran. I think I only did like 3.5k. But to say I've not done any proper exercise since January, it was pretty good, really. And I did just under 7k on Saturday. Obviously, when you're running, you're reflecting constantly.
Yeah.
And I always found this time of year difficult anyway. A few weeks to have his birthday.
Yeah.
And obviously on the day and a few days afterwards. And it's just, it gives you that push to do it.
Yeah.
So what am I on now? I've got
2 kilometres.
I've got 2 kilometres. I've done a 3.5 tonight, and I've just got 2 to do tomorrow. So I will probably do a bit longer, just to finish it off in style.
And then you've done your 50 kilometres. I'm assuming you've created a finishing post, Danny, and a tape for Adele to run through.
Yeah,
of course. Bottle of champagne.
They'll be on the back street.
Brilliant.
On the back street. We've done other things as well over the years. Gav was actually involved in one of them. We did the Loch Ness Challenge. So that was the sort of a group of my friends that did that, which was basically a duathlon, so cycling and running. Gav absolutely loved doing that, didn't you? Training for it and riding his bike around Loch Ness.
I think I just finished last week.
That was in 2008, Gav.
And this is no word of a lie, Jez, as well. So we turn up on the first day to do it, and there are loads of teams there, celebrities and things like that. So you've got Gavin Hastings, the rugby player, Nell McAndrew. Is she called Nell McAndrew, the model from Bolton?
Yeah.
And then you had Liz McColgan in a team, and the Brownlee brothers also formed part of another team. So
and 4 lads from Burnley.
Yeah, you'll be surprised to know that we didn't win, but we give it our best shot. But yeah, and again, we did that. We did music and things like that. Now, back when we did that, there was a very sort of local aspect to the charity that, unfortunately, because the way that these charities evolve over time, doesn't sort of exist anymore, unfortunately. But when we did that, we literally, I think we raised about £1,000 at the time, and we did that specifically for helping to refurb that room at the hospital. So new equipment, new things like that to go in there. So it's and then obviously Adele's carried it on with various things subsequently. A couple of 10k runs as well. Adele's done in between time. So
yeah, it is. It's outstanding the work that you do, and and also what Sands do. So please, people who are listening, first and foremost is, if you're aware of anyone going through a difficult time like this, and that remind them that Sands is there, and I'm sure that that people listening will recognise or know someone who's been through this. So let's try and raise as much as we can through the podcast, and help Adele to get there. See if we can get up to 700 or even £1,000 before she finishes tomorrow on the last 2 kilometres.
Jess, I can also give you the link for the helpline if there is anybody who is struggling at the minute.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, I'll forward that on to you.
Yeah, if you can do. And also, please, a vast majority of people on Facebook, have a look at Adele's page. She does put some material on there which will give you the links and give updates if you look back at the previous post, so you can get from on there. But we'll put them on the Lowerhouse website and on Twitter and everywhere else that we can. So moving from there, we go to 2009. Well, I don't know when you first found out, but that you found out you were pregnant.
In fact, do you know what we're doing? It's just come to me now, Jez. We're actually at a Sands fundraiser with Shasta with the band. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And I was actually pregnant with the girls, and I didn't know. Right. I had a great night.
Correct. Yeah.
We'd had a few sherbets that night, but I didn't know I was pregnant.
You didn't know you were pregnant, so
no.
And then, so you don't know you're pregnant then. You find out you're pregnant, and lo and behold, they tell you that it's twins. I mean, how, were you scared? Were you panicking?
We didn't really know how to react. I laughed.
Right.
I was just like, what, twins? Yeah, a bit overwhelmed really, with a bit of a shock to the system.
I'd clocked it before early because obviously you used to go into scans the first time, and then I could see the screen, so Adele couldn't see the screen because they started doing the checks and everything. Yeah, and I could see that there were two things there, so I'm looking, thinking it's like there's more than one there, and then the lady turned the screen around and showed us it was twins. Confirmed pretty much straight away that they're identical twins as well. Right. So there's obviously different types of twins, but identical means that the sort of, is it one egg?
It's a T membrane.
Yeah, one egg's split in two, and then they sort of share the same placenta, which is why they share the same DNA and stuff like that, which is fascinating. Yeah. And we found out about that about 2 days before we went on holiday to Portugal, didn't we?
Right.
Literally getting ready to go on holiday, found out that we were that it was twins. We knew we were pregnant, obviously, but found out it was twins. And then the consultant who had dealt with Harry's pregnancy was the same consultant, and she sort of gave us a bit of a dose of reality straight away. So we went into a room, and she essentially said, "This not necessarily it's not good news, because obviously it is, but this could be very difficult with what's happened previously. This has just made things a lot harder." So that was quite chastening to listen to her say that. But to be fair, what they did do then was say, right, you're going to be in every couple of weeks. Yeah. They more or less agreed a date within weeks as to when the twins would be born. So they'd spoken to different consultants and doctors and things like that, and said that there'll be like a sort of viable time will be from 34 weeks, I think they said, onwards.
Yeah. So we opted for a section for the girls because Isabel was the wrong way around. Yeah. So Ruby may have come out.
She's still the wrong way around now.
She's still the wrong way around now. She'll go mad at that.
When you said there, Stan, it does interest me that when you said that, they sat you in a room and said, whilst this is extremely happy, it is a difficult period. Was that just because they were twins, or because of what had happened with Harry?
I think both. Because they were always going to be more sort of wary second time round for us anyway. But then when it's twins and the complications that can come with that, because there's all kinds of things with twins where one will grow and sort of stuff off the other child and things like that. And there were twins when we were in hospital, when our twins were born, that had been through that. So you had one twin that was like 6'2" and one that was about 4 inch tall. It was just like bizarre to see. The kids, but that's all the stuff they warn you about. When you start down the sort of twin route. But they were very matter of fact with us. And and explain this is how it's going to be, and this is what we're going to do. You'll be here every couple of weeks. Scans, checking the growth and everything, weren't there? And then agreed a date, and sort of another strange quirk of fate, the day that, so they gave us a date to say twins will be basically born on the 5th of February. And that's the anniversary of when my dad died, when I was a baby as well. So that's sort of like a day that bittersweet in a way. So you've got the fact that my dad passed away on that date in 1981, and then you've got the twins were born on that date in 2009. So from my mum's point of view, it sort of gives it, I suppose it's turned a really sad day into a very happy day. So yeah.
Oh, cracky! That is. I mean, what? So let me just get this right. When your dad passed away, the girls were born on exactly the same date.
Yeah, same date. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's
yeah.
That is, turning, something, as sad as that was into, something that could be quite, something for your mum to think of when she sees Isabel and Ruby. Is that at that time, we've talked about a real difficult period for you with Harry. That when you found out you're pregnant, Adele, and then for the next 5, 6, 7 months, were you constantly worrying and constantly stressed, thinking this is going to happen again?
To be honest, Jez, it was a bit of a blur.
Yeah.
It was just, I think you put yourself in this protective bubble, I think, and I never really got out of it after Harry.
Right.
And then I was pregnant with girls, and obviously it just seemed to fly by, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
It seemed to be a really quick pregnancy. Like you say, I was at hospital every other week, really, getting checked. And yeah, just obviously a worry. Just want to get them here, really. As soon as they're allowed to be born, let's have them on that day, and that's what we went for.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it weren't all smooth when they were born. They went to special care for. Well, Ruby were there for 9 days, and Isabel were there for a couple of days. So it was tricky when they were born. We were breastfeeding, having to go down to visit them. But look at them now. They really tall, strong, healthy girls, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm going to go on. So for the listeners, Isabel and Ruby are now 16 years old. They've come, and it's again another fantastic example of every time a summer finishes, we go through a winter, you go back in the spring, you see your two girls there. They're at most matches, walking around, seem to be getting taller and taller. Really lovely children, and growing up into fantastic adults. I can see that Stanley's getting them into a sort of a special place now with work. When it was the busiest bar ever, when we won the league, there's two girls behind the bar who've not done it before, and it's Isabel and Ruby.
Ruby had actually done a couple of Wednesday nights.
Right.
And so she'd be doing a couple of shifts there, just getting used to everything. And then she was literally thrown in the deep end on that day because it was really busy.
Yeah. It was. But who cares? They did a great job. They helped the club out again, just like, the last 2 or 3 generations of your family. So Gav, we've got these two, obviously twins, these two little girls, your best mate, your mucker. You've got to be wanting, you'll be concerned, just like everyone else, all the other Rugrats would have been. These two girls are born nice and healthy. Did a pint get taken to celebrate the birth of them?
Yeah, we might have had 1 or 2, Jez, just to keep up traditions, it's got to be done. But yeah, everyone was just so pleased. Great news, and because everyone knew they'd be great at it, and having gone through what they've gone through, it was just really nice, and it were really good news, and it was nice to see nice people, have something good happen to them. Really, it was good.
Yeah, and it continues with with a pair of them. They're growing up into fantastic human beings. So if we can, I will push everything for the Sands charity. Please, anyone who's listening to this, if it's touched you in any way, or how brave Adele's been and Matthew, with all the support that's been there for them and their families, let's try and you know, whether it's a Lowerhouse push or a Housecast push, but try and, you know, push this Sands charity and let's support it the best way that we can. I'm going to move away from this now, and I just want, is there any other comments, Adele, before I've just read out something that you sent me? Have you anything else to add?
No, not really. No, just it'd be really appreciated if you could donate. Every sponsor, even if it's just a £5. You know, it's not even a pint nowadays, is it? A £5? So
yeah,
that you know, every little bit will help the other grieving parents. So it'd be really appreciated if you could help us out.
Yeah, I think one thing that's probably right to say, and it's probably long overdue in a way, but the support that we got from everyone at the time, and the support from the cricket club and things like that, I sort of vividly remember doing all the funeral arrangements, and the guys at Alderson Oran said, well, basically they had like a really fancy sort of Ford Focus. We'll be using that car on the day, this kind of thing. And you're like, right, that's fine, yeah, that's what we do with babies. And then Stephen Alderson there got a feel for there was going to be quite a lot of people present, and basically rang on the morning and said, look, so just so you're not alarmed, we are going to turn up with the full car and everything all set out, because you know there's going to be quite a lot of people there. And we turned up at the chapel at the top of the cemetery there, and it was absolutely jammers. So like I say, that support means an awful lot to us, and did then, and still does today. Yeah, I bet it. At the time, you know, you two young adults, you're in a nightmare, you're in a real thunderstorm, and at the time you probably can't appreciate it as much, but it's good that we can talk about it now, and you can remember that, and remember those sorts of times and the support you can give to other people. Gav, is there anything from yourself before I close it up?
No, just to say to Adele there, when you said it's not even the price of a pint, you looked at Matthew. He wouldn't know because he very rarely goes to the bar. But no, other than that, just have nothing.
No, I think it's because he keeps sending me, doesn't he?
That's just and
as well, I'm going to dob him in here, Adele, as well.
Okay.
You probably are aware, but when you were pregnant with girls and we'd all go out for a pint, it'd always throw me under the bus. They'd go, right, Adele's on the way now. You got bar now. You got bar. And she won't have a go at you, but she'll go mad at me. So every time you turned up and we gone for a pint to pick him up because you're his taxi driver, and he'd go, "Oh, Gav's just been bar."
Oh yeah, I've heard that story.
I've carried that for long enough, Stanley.
Yeah, the other big beneficiary of that was Raz's on Accrington Road. Yeah, stopping by there for a mixed kebab on the way through because Adele were driving.
I believe. The daft thing is, Gav, Adele would have known all along what we're going
100%,
on. Don't worry about that. She knew what was going on. So just to finish up, once again, please help and support what you can. Harry would have been 18 on Sunday. Adele's put some great words in helping me to understand what happened and through Sands. And Adele's mentioned that always on the run up to Harry's birthday, they would always have a little bit of a celebration and a little bit of a toast, and Adele's dad would be front and centre of that. And unfortunately he passed away last March, so that is a difficult period now, and it's probably bringing back what you went through with Harry, and your dad was relatively young with that, so you're gonna have a family meal just to toast your dad and Harry as it comes up to his 18th birthday. So I really mean it, Adele. You've been so brave, and thanks very much for coming out and telling us what you've told us. And like I said, if it helps one person, then it's worked a treat. So thanks very much, Adele. Thanks very much, Matthew. Gav, I really appreciate you coming on. I think it's been the best way of doing this. We were chatting about whether Duke should come on, whether Joe Martin, whether Gary, but they're never easy ones to do like this. But I can assure you, Adele and Matthew, people will really appreciate it. They'll really thank you for doing what you've done. So thanks very much. And
thank you.
To all the listeners, please continue to like and subscribe to the Housecast and support Sands wherever you can. So thanks very much, everyone, for listening.
Order! Send more house to save the house!